and I'm going to do our introduction for the meeting. Okay. So welcome everybody to the September 2025 Design Review Committee meeting. My name is Michael Durack, and I'm the Associate Planner for the county's Historic Preservation Program. I'm going to start by calling the roll to confirm that our DRC members are present. Omari Davis is excused. Robert Dudka.
Here.
Okay. Alex Foster. Here. And Andy Wetchell.
Here.
Great. DRC meetings are held in person and streamed simultaneously to allow commissioners, applicants, and the public to attend online. For applicants and others joining us this evening, if you lose internet connectivity during the meeting, please reconnect with us via the dial-in phone option. Please keep your devices muted and your video turned off until your item is under review. When called upon to speak, you must unmute yourself by clicking on the microphone icon that is located on the meeting command bar at the top of the window. The meeting chat is active for participants who need technical assistance and should not be used for questions. The public may observe the meetings, but participation in the discussion is limited to applicants and members of the HALRB during this meeting. Public comment is welcome at the HALRB meeting. Information about signing up as a speaker or submitting a public comment for that meeting is available on the HALRB website. Lastly, this is a public forum. Today's meeting will be recorded and posted to the county's website and the county's YouTube page. Avoid sharing any personal information that you would not like to be made public. All information associated with today's meeting, whether written or spoken, is subject to the Freedom of Information Act requirements. All right, thank you for your while I read the necessary things out loud, and we will start with the first item on our agenda, which is in Maywood, and we have the applicant here. So I'm going to share my screen if you want to introduce yourself and talk about the project, and I'll interject.
Sure. Hi, my name is TR Schmidt. My wife and I have a house in Maywood. We've already been through this process a number of times. We did a substantial renovation in our house, which is great. And we did a front porch. And we bought the house next door, did the same thing on that house because they look the same. And we're happy. So now, and we did a shed out back. So we were here for that one, all those things. So now I'm here just to try to figure out an attractive way to store our firewood, because my grandmother lives next door. She uses her fireplace. It's a real wood burning fireplace. We live next door to her, and we use the same wood pile for our fireplace, and our kids like it. So that's where my wife and I live. And then to the left, if you were facing our house, is the house that looks just like that. And that's where my grandmother lives. Actually, it's Becky's mother or grandmother, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that little rendering there on SketchUp, I did the best I could. I've had that model for a while. I think you guys have seen that before. That little wood storage unit right behind my fence line is what we're trying to talk about right now. And that's all I want to do. I'm going to call it temporary. It's just going to sit on the grass. In theory, I could take a dolly and pick it up and move it if I needed to with some help with some neighbors. And Michael can show you. By the way, Michael's been very helpful. She's told me this is a little dicey. This may not fly for a wide variety of reasons. But there is a picture in here of what my current firewood storage solution is, and it is abysmal. It is that mess right there on the left. If you zoom way in, they dumped all the firewood on the driveway, and I quickly took some pressure treated lumber and I jammed that together and stored everything on there. So it's ugly, and it's been there for a long time. Just sitting there. So I'm just trying to enhance that. And first we talked to Michael about putting this storage unit in front of the fence line on the property line, actually straddling the property line. She was like, what about behind the fence line? So we said, okay, fine, I'll move it behind the fence line. And then you suggested, well, that's not behind that, or that's not in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me come in and let's talk to the members and let's try to figure this out. I'm trying not to make this complicated, to trudge through snow into the backyard to get wood to come back up and things like that. So this is what we were talking about.
So tell us, like, actually how you would actually use the shed. So your
there it is right there.
Yeah. So basically the idea is from next door,
From both front porches.
From both front, okay,
We'd
but you're gonna
walk-
do it from
we'd walk to
the
it,
front
yeah.
porch, you're just gonna walk out,
Bingo.
and that's why you don't wanna go way into the back.
Right. And if we walk outside my grandmother's back door, I can't get to my yard unless I
Right,
put
okay.
a
No,
hole
I
in
mean-
the fence. And then if we walk out my backyard, my back door, then I got to trudge through the house with the firewood. And that's actually what I'm trying to avoid. Going
Right.
through the kitchen, going to the dining room.
Yeah.
And so forth. So that is it's actually built similar to the shed above, but it's all fabric. There's no real door. I mean, it'll be made out of like plywood or something and painted to look like a shed. That's probably wood siding from Home Depot that I could potentially stain or paint. It's just more attractive than the awful solution we have right now.
And is that just for ventilation at the top? It's just open?
I just I didn't know.
You
how
didn't
to
figure
draw
out how
that.
you,
So I'm
how
gonna,
to do, you know, how
gonna
to draw it, okay, but you're
maybe
gonna,
ventilation's a good idea. So maybe that was on purpose, but I'll probably close that in with
Right.
something to
you know,
make it look right.
the idea is it's just a shed roof with siding
Bingo.
and a simple door, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fence, let's go back to the thing with the fence. So,
It's a picket fence.
Yeah.
So,
Wasn't gonna draw every picket.
yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yes, it would be visible from the top.
because if it was like a board fence, then it would be more solid. You wouldn't see the shed. I mean,
That's
that's
right.
kind of the way you see it there.
That's right. I
I
don't
know what,
don't necessarily have a privacy fence and I wasn't gonna draw it. So it does just peek over. I could probably make it 6 inches shorter. I didn't want to have to, I mean, I got to get down on a knee to get in there anyway, but that's all we're talking about. And again, it would sit on maybe a puck from Home Depot on the four corners. And
right,
again, I could just, there's no concrete slab or none of that stuff.
Well, so we're calling it a shed, which is why I offered caution, because technically sheds are only allowed per the Maywood design guidelines to go in the backyard. It has to be behind the house, which is why we're having this conversation. So I think, yes, one of my questions was about if it was going to have some sort of foundation. You answered that question. It won't have any sort of like concrete slab. It'll just be resting directly on the ground. So yes, I guess in some regard, this could be seen as temporary. But the purpose would be to have it be there for perpetuity, theoretically, right?
Until it rots.
Rots.
I gotta come up with a new solution at that
Yeah.
point. We'll see it
So
again
what is
years from now.
what do the guidelines say about temporary structures?
So I don't think we have like a section dedicated specifically to temporary, but we do have, like movable items and accessories don't require COA. So if you have like outdoor furniture, lighting, like mailboxes, that kind of thing doesn't require review. I don't know if this would constitute as that, but that's about what the design guidelines offer.
I'll add one more thing. The reason why we're even here talking about that rendering is that I told Becky, I got to deal with this firewood. I'm just going to go buy a junky rack that has like a vinyl, like looks like a car cover, and you just slide it over.
Right.
She's like, can we not do that? I know you like to build stuff. Can you just build something nicer? So that's why we're here talking.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the problem is the precedent thing, because then, this is pretty small and innocuous. But, but then somebody else will say, well, you let them put a shed in your front yard, so now we want to put a shed, but only ours is gonna be bigger.
Right.
And so,
Shed has to be tall enough that you can walk into it. This you can't walk into.
I don't know, what is the,
Let me go to
what do the
that.
guidelines say?
I like that definition. Let's.
I mean, I think that's a good,
Maybe.
So per the zoning ordinance, this is in the design guidelines, so I would have to talk to somebody in zoning to get their take on this specifically. All sheds are considered structures, but sheds that are anchored to a foundation are considered accessory buildings, so that would not apply in this case. So it would be considered a structure per the zoning regulations and would have to fulfill setback and some of those things with it as well. But yeah.
How tall is it?
At the roof pitch, so inside 4.5 feet. It's the fence is 4.5 feet.
Structure.
I know, but
It's a
we have to,
canopy or cover, an
Yeah.
enclosed cover of anything.
right,
Can I ask, do you have a site plan of this and show where this.
Yeah.
Where the two houses are. I'm confused about that.
So
Whose yard? Is it
So
your
it-
grandmother's yard or?
No, it'll be,
It's
it's on the,
here.
right- if it's in the fence, it'll be on.
it's gonna be like right here,
There.
over here is that other house,
Yep.
and this is a corner house on Kenmore, so then,
Mhm.
and then it looks
How do
around.
we handle trash enclosures? People who want to do.
Those are normally considered because it's fencing.
Yeah.
It kind of depends, but, on the location of the structure, but we have had a COA come forward for a trash enclosure because it was, well, it's a corner house, so it's a little tricky, but it is visible.
And what is that classified as?
Full fencing.
Fencing. Well, that's, I think, yeah, I think you've got it. And I think particularly if the fence was, more, instead of just being an open picket, if it was like a board fence, I don't know if that's allowed under the guideline, not allowed under the guideline.
You could do an opaque fence, you could do a completely screened fence.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's like,
Not that you should change your fencing, I'm saying, this is an enclosed, covered fence.
right. I mean, you could theoretically store your trash cans in there. I mean, going on what Alex is good.
Sure.
And, and so I think it technically is, in fact, probably a lot of people would do that. I mean, I don't know, I'm okay with it. That as you can tell, we're
Sure.
struggling to find a way that is not precedent setting that just,
No, I appreciate you guys helping here.
because I mean, I don't think anybody has a problem with the idea of it. We're just trying to make
This
sure.
gives me a
that-
fun project to build, so I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm still confused in terms of how this fits with the other house.
Can you go to the pictures?
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Love street view.
If you scroll down just a little bit there, this is my grandmother's house.
Uh-huh.
This is our house. This is my fence. That's the property lines right up very close to this driveway strip. That's where that fence is. And this shed's just gonna, I said shed, I apologize. This trash enclosure is just gonna park itself right behind that fence line.
What if it
So
was
it's on my
It
side.
goes on your grandmother's?
No, it's on his.
It's on my
It's on your
Yeah.
side, but
It'll be
up
utilized.
against her house.
No, up
No,
against
no,
my
no.
fence. And there's another 3 feet.
Oh, we're gonna go right here.
Yeah. And there's
Oh.
another 3 feet or 4 feet in between her house and the property line.
But
Okay.
both
I got a
houses,
question, and I don't know if what if it just simply was attached to your grandmother's house?
as like a lean-to.
Yeah, like
And-
a lean-to, is that allowed?
Proud of the fence line?
Yeah, so that, and then you would just access it from here.
My first submission to Michael when we chatted about this was it being in front of the fence line. And that's what I want because that makes it even easier.
But
for
if it's
us to-
freestanding, then it's a shed or something. But if it's attached to the house, then it's,
We
how
have,
does that
we have allowed lean-to sheds, but they're on the back.
backside of
We're
that? Okay.
kind of still in the same situation
Okay.
with it's on the side of the house.
Right.
That is like, it's everything else about this would be something that I could approve administratively if not for the location
Right.
of the
And,
shed slash.
and are these houses contributing?
Yes, I believe both
Okay.
of them are.
This is temporary, it's not really a structure, I mean, that would be really cheap. And if the precedent is a temporary object that's not on foundations, that nobody could occupy, and isn't even tall enough for somebody to crawl in. It's precedent setting.
Well, I think that there is an argument to be made that this could come to the full board for discussion and, you could make that argument in the motion. If everyone agrees with that, then I think that would set your logic behind why this is an okay example for the
Well,
use of that.
I think Alex had it before. It's, it's no different than a trash enclosure. And so if that falls into the fence category, why don't we just look at it that way and just
The cover.
I
the
don't,
covered fence? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I can talk to Lauren about it and see where we land on staff's side for it. Because I think it is a bit more, it is more structural than a fence.
Do we? If somebody does one of those libraries, like.
We have to approve those.
We do.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
this,
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Just having fun with this. If you went to Home Depot and bought I don't know, like you were saying, something like a metal frame that you could stretch a tarp over, would they need approval for that? Or would that just be something you could just,
I think we could constitute that as like a piece of furniture. Like that's how I would interpret that.
this is just a nicer, seems to me, this is a nicer piece of furniture. I mean, I guess the point is to make sure that it's delineated so that it doesn't turn into sheds.
Right.
In other properties where the people say, oh, well, you let him do it, so I'm gonna do it, only I'm doing it bigger and I think one of the relevant things that Alex brought up was not being able to walk into it, that it's literally, it's low, you can't go inside. You're just gonna open the door and grab
Exactly.
wood out of it, so it's.
I think this is fine. I would suggest the roof of this, whatever, is sloping right towards your grandmother's house.
Yep.
I would think it probably, I know you might say you might get wet or have a pile of snow in front. No, but it seems like it should not drain towards, the roof should not drain towards your grandmother's house right next to her foundation. It's gonna put water into.
There is, it's about that far, so it'll be that, even the roof edge will be that far away from her foundation. So there's a side yard to her house in between my fence and her house.
Okay.
It's
there is-
not very big, but it's
okay,
there. Yeah.
okay, Okay, I was just concerned about.
Yeah. And there's a bush there, there's I have to mow it. Trust me, I'd rather not be there, but I gotta mow it, and so forth. So. Yeah, that water does have a place to go before it would reach her.
Okay.
So
Sure.
beat this into the ground, but like fences, it's that far back, how tall are fences allowed to be in Maywood?
It kind of depends on the placement on the lot, but you are allowed to have privacy fences and those can be up to 7 inches or 7 feet tall.
Right, so
We originally had a 3-foot fence, then my dog jumped over it. So we asked the committee if we raised it by 1.5 feet. So currently the fence in the front is 4.5 feet tall. And so that's why the shed just peeks over. And of course I could make that roof less pitchy and really almost get it to 4.5
it
feet
could be
if I
a
want to.
flat roof, I mean,
It probably could be,
Yeah,
or
so-
just barely,
yeah, I mean. I don't know, I mean, if it was less than the height of the fence or equal to the height of the fence, I don't know, I don't see how this is a shed, really. It's, I mean, because as long as it's behind the fence, you're not gonna see it. It's,
The only precedent I can see, like those super skinny, like lawn work sheds that are tall enough that you can put like a rake or a broom or like a hoe into. I can see this maybe being a problem setting a precedent with that. But again, this put a rake in this, so the scale of it.
Well, Michael, what does the agenda look like for the main board meeting?
It's these 2 COAs and then a park naming, so it's
So it's not
pretty,
not-
it's pretty light. It
So
isn't.
why don't we just put this, just have the board talk about this and.
But I think we should have.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend that we approve it,
Okay.
but that we basically hone the language so that it's not precedent setting, but whenever we've done precedent issues, it's always before the full board.
Yep.
We can't, we can just recommend, we can't
Right.
make any kind of ruling, so.
Would you like TR to make the structure that height with the current fence? Do you want that edit before the HALRB, or do you want the HALRB to see it in this current iteration? Because I know there was some conversation about, well, I don't have an issue with it if it's even with the fence.
GC, I mean, it's SketchUp.
And I mean, even if it was like a flat roof, I mean, because the flat roof isn't gonna, I mean, it's so small that it's not,
Yeah.
even if you have snow on it, you're just gonna,
How long do I have to update it?
If you could get me the drawings by next Tuesday,
That's fine.
that would be great.
yeah.
Again, this is a hobby, so fine.
Okay.
That's simple. With the exception of the roof pitch and the height on the front, because the back, I think, is less than the fence height. Is there anything else you guys want, or is that it? Because I'll just send you back this screen grab plus the one next to it.
Yeah.
That shows I'm showing a solid fence because I don't feel like drawing the pickets.
Yeah, no,
That's okay, we can have a note clarified.
Okay.
The only other question I had was what roofing material do you plan on using for it?
I was gonna put shingles on it,
Okay,
but of course, if that is a problem, I can kind of do whatever you guys tell me to do.
no, I want, the guidance for sheds allows.
I was gonna basically match, I hate to say this, but I was gonna match the actual shed in the backyard, but I don't want that to cause a problem.
Got it.
So, I mean, to be fair, I don't think this would be very attractive, but if you wanted me to use fence boards to surround the shed, I could. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I could. I don't like that. But,
no.
you know,
But you're okay with lowering
Yeah.
the height of it a little bit
Yeah.
into the roof?
yeah, not easy. I'll draw that up and send it over. I don't know if I can do that on Friday if I get hooky from work kind of stuff going on. So that's fine.
Okay,
Right,
well then,
perfect.
so we'll say recommend for approval to the full board.
Yeah,
But
but-
have it on discussion.
Yeah, but to discuss the, any potential, precedent issues. But yeah,
This is great. Thank you guys for the conversation. This is exactly what Michael and I were chatting about over email. Maybe we'll just come in and chat about it. And so this is good. This is kind of what I was hoping the conversation would be.
Right.
So,
Thank you for your flexibility.
Awesome,
and
yeah.
being willing to work.
okay, all right, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Nice to meet everybody.
It's- Yeah, it's sometimes it's difficult with the design guidelines because not every project that comes forward fits into a nice
Right.
tiny bucket. The most comparable thing I have to this is a shed. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm using.
Yeah,
As the guide.
it seems like this is one of those things that maybe even the full board can make a recommendation that this goes on kind of a list of things to alter the guidelines. And I know we're not gonna alter the guidelines, every time something comes up, but
Sure.
just put it on the list so that the
Yeah.
next time we do it, because it seems like if it was, it was no higher than the fence, you guys ought to be able to just, this
To go over
doesn't
this,
necessarily have to
yeah.
come for the board.
No, I agree.
So,
Okay.
we can talk about that in front of the full board also, but that's
That would be great.
put on the list.
Okay, thank you for your patience, Blair.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, wonderful.
Ah.
Thank you for attending the meeting. This is our second item. Would you like to mention anything about it?
Sure. So good to see everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. My name is Blair Murphy. I'm the Senior Curator and Director of Exhibitions at Museum of Contemporary Art, Arlington, and we are applying for an extension of the Reclining Liberty public artwork that we currently have installed in the building. It was installed in August of 2023, and it's been extremely popular with the public. I actually, as I was leaving the museum to get here, there was a crowd of people on the corner, and I would have stopped to ask who they were, but I was already running late. We've had artists who are installing inside comment on how if you're in a room where you could look out the windows to the front lawn, like there's people out there taking pictures constantly. Yeah, it's been so popular with the public. We've developed a really great relationship with the artist. He's based in New York. And has come down.
What's his name again?
Zach Landsberg.
Oh, it's right there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So he's come down a few times. I think we're actually expecting him to be in town again in October or late September for our gala. So he's been a really great partner. He's actually talking with, this is the original sculpture that he built, but he has in the past in one instance created a fiberglass essentially replica, and he's talking right now with Millennium Park in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
For them. And yeah, we were really excited to see it in the Live Arlington campaign I like that visiting campaign. So yeah, so we're hoping to extend for another year until September.
Well, I think it's actually for the permanent installation is what was submitted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I wanted to, that's still. correct,
Yes,
right?
that is
Okay.
still, that's in process. So I think on our end, that's a conversation with the artists that would involve a fundraising campaign. And so, sorry, we're sort of, in terms of approval, I think what we would publicly announce at this point would be the 1-year extension, and then we're also.
Oh, okay.
But you're working on a permanent.
We're working on a permanent, yes. And I
Well-
think we were thinking that, discussing that at this point, so we knew in advance before we started working on the plans. Would make sense.
Sounds like, I mean, it seems like the county would be a real ally to, making it permanent. I don't know in terms of funding or whatever, but.
Yeah, that's certainly on
does
our
this-
radar.
Does this make sense to put this on discussion? Even though, certainly we don't have any, I don't have a problem with this. I would love to see it permanent. So it gives us a forum to, at least discuss it. I don't know if as the Arts Commission,
So when we originally installed it, that was with a partnership with Public Art. So they, in terms of funding for the initial, installation, it was essentially co-sponsored with Public Art.
Right.
So we haven't talked to them about funding for the potential
Right.
permanent installation, but I'm sure that's something we are thinking about.
right. But I think if the full board, instead of just, doing a consent calendar thing, if the full board was to say, yes, we approve the year extension, but we also support a permanent installation, that might help you as well, knowing that's already in the bag, that we don't need to revisit.
From staff's perspective, we would like that, because I think one of the things that is also something good to keep in mind is that the museum rents this property from the county. And so
Right.
like there should be ongoing conversations with other county entities about the like permanent installation of the art. And so having the motion reflect that type of like language would be good as well, so that it's not seen as the HALB motion, not from your perspective, but just from the written record, that the HALB saying, yes, you can go ahead and permanently install this piece of art is not a wholesale county, that there needs to be other conversations happening.
And I know we're in conversation with the parks as well.
Okay.
Right now, yeah, in terms of the permanent installation. In being also talking with them about the long-term plans for the park and how that would fit in.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because it seems like, I'm actually surprised that it's only been there as long as it has been, because it seems like it's been there
Forever.
forever. It just seems such a natural thing. And I think some of us who've been in Arlington for a while, and watched, Arlington transform, because when I moved to Arlington was I don't want to use the word wealthy, but it was a lot funkier place. There used to be, my neighborhood had a lot of musicians. There was a lot of really interesting arts kind of stuff happening in Arlington, and a lot of it went away. The museum, was in Arlington, and then that went downtown, and so we lost a lot of the sort of interesting stuff. So this is a really nice thing. I think Arlington should hang on to. And encourage more, of this kind of stuff. So anyway,
Does everyone else agree that it should go on discussion?
yeah, but then we wholeheartedly
Support it.
support this.
Claire, do you have any questions for us?
So when would the next meeting?
Yeah, it would be on September 17th. So I will send you and then Andrew, blanking on names now. Is it Andrew? Nope, Nick, different person. Nick and Jessica, the details for that meeting. And what to prepare.
Okay. You guys know if there's anything to do in advance?
Yeah, no, your proposal and everything that you have, we have all the information. There will be, because it's on the discussion agenda. I will do a brief presentation about the project, but then there will also be an opportunity for you all or for Nick and Jessica, whoever, to talk about the project and present your point of view on it to the board before it's discussed by everyone. Okay, wonderful.
Great,
All right,
thank you.
thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Meeting.